Yeah, hi friends. Welcome to today's session. This session is regarding derivatives, and it's a session on option buying and option selling. So we'll wait for a few seconds and then start. There are a lot of people who are joining in. तो आज का सेशन जो है it's completely on which side to be on. अगर आपको option buyer रहना है तो कौन से scenarios में you should consider to be an option buyer and in which scenarios you should consider to be an option seller. तो आज का सेशन इस टॉपिक पे ऊपर है. We'll just wait a few seconds. A lot of participants are still joining in. I'd like to thank all the participants once again for having taken the time out and having joined today's session. Thank you so much from your end for having taken the time out. We'll be having a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So participant जिसको भी keep the questions regarding the topic itself. तो किसी को भी questions है regarding the topic, feel free to ask your questions at the end of the session. I'll keep the session mix of English and Hindi, taking into consideration there are different participants who have preference in different languages. But I'll try to keep it as simple as possible. I'll speak in both English and Hindi and try my best to convey the content in a very simple manner. Yeah, so without wasting any further time, let's get started with today's session. तो आज के सेशन में these are the broad topics that we are going to cover. Framing your view on the market, this is the most important thing out of everything. See, strategies, these are all secondary things. Forming the strategy on the market, whether to buy a call option, put option, which type of hedge strategy to consider, ये सब जो चीज़ है, these are secondary things. First and foremost, the most important thing is to form a view on the market. What do you feel in today's trading session can be the direction of the market, and how are you going to play it? So forming the view is the most important thing. Then we'll consider various scenarios to buy or sell call and put options. Clear understanding is required between a seller of an option and buyer of an option. Once you are able to have a good understanding and a good difference between who's a buyer of an option and who's a seller of an option, the concepts get much more clear. And then we'll also be seeing how to hedge your position when selling options. So selling of options is slightly a risky bet on the market, taking into consideration the type of volatility that we are seeing, especially overnight positions. When you are carrying it forward, it needs to be done in a hedged manner. Otherwise, there is a heavy risk of losing of capital. So these are the broad topics. ये सारे topics हम लोग आज के session में cover करने वाले हैं. So let's get started. So like I mentioned, forming the view on the market while trading in options is the most important thing. There are different ways in which you can frame your view on the market, but the most common thing or the most common method used by analysts is making use of the charting softwares. तो चार्ट का ट्रेंड देख के जनरली वी मेक आवर व्यू ऑन द मार्केट based on whether today's session is going to be a trending direction on the upside, downside, or we expect a sideways consolidation. This is mainly done through the use of charts. So sabhi jan, mostly almost 90% of the traders, if you see, make use of charts they make use of various charting softwares to get a view on the market. So you can make use of a 5-minute chart, you can make use of a 15-minute chart, you can make use of a daily chart. If you are a long-term or a positional type trader, you can also make use of weekly charts, but that's a slightly longer term view. Generally, the intraday traders जो रहते हैं, वो लोग 5-minute chart देखते हैं या 15-minute max 15-minute chart देखते हैं. And for a broader perspective, they make use of the daily chart. Daily chart से उनको एक view बन जाता है कि more or less what is the direction of the market. And the intraday positions, that is, those are the positions which are generally taken based on the 5-minute chart या 15-minute chart. What generally we make a use at our end is the 5-minute chart when we are generally trading in Nifty, Bank Nifty, or Fin Nifty, because that's a decent amount of time frame. If we go to a smaller time frame, less than 5 minutes, there will be a lot of whipsaws. मतलब आपको एक false breakout या breakdown बहुत बार देखने को मिल सकता है if you consider going to a 1-minute time frame or even a 3-minute time frame. So the preferable thing, it depends from individual to individual. किसी किसी को 1-minute chart भी comfortable लगता है, but as a trader we are much more comfortable making use of a 5-minute chart. So first and foremost, you make use of charts to gauge the view on the market. Next, what you can do is along with the chart direction, you can also make use of the derivative data. तो एक पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक जैसे आईसीआईसीआई बैंक हो या रिलायंस हो, चार्ट तो उसका यू विल गेट अ व्यू इन द डायरेक्शन, बट यू कैन ऑल्सो मेक यूज ऑफ द ऑप्शन चेन ऑफ द पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक एंड डिसाइड कि कौन से स्ट्राइक प्राइसेस पे एग्रेसिव कॉल राइटिंग हो रहा है या कौन से स्ट्राइक पे एग्रेसिव पुट राइटिंग हो रहा है. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू विल मोर और लेस गेट अ व्यू दैट ये पर्टिकुलर जोन में ये पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक को रेजिस्टेंस आ सकता है या फिर ये पर्टिकुलर जोन एक अच्छा खासा सपोर्ट है. भले ही करेक्शन आ जाए, there is a very good chance that in the next few sessions the stock could recover from these particular levels. So you can combine the technical chart pattern along with the derivative data and consolidate your view. See, there is no one single tool which will help you make money in the market. It's all combining your skill sets along with the charts and the derivative data to frame a view on the market. सो द डेरिवेटिव डेटा एक्ट्स एज एन एडिशनल टूल, जो हम लोग बोलते हैं एक एडिशनल कंफर्मेशन सिग्नल की तरह डेरिवेटिव डेटा काम करता है. एंड दैट वर्क्स रियली वेल व्हेन यू हैव गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द चार्ट एंड गुड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ डेरिवेटिव डेटा. You get additional confirmation or a positive signal to take a trade in a large quantity. The last is once you have got a framed view on the market, the next is selecting the actual trading strategy. Options में आपको actual क्या करना है. Once you have framed a view on the market, आपको call option buy करना है या simultaneously आपको put option बेचने का है. View तो आपका तेजी का रह सकता है, but आपको strategy क्या करना है उस टाइम पे, that is also very important. Whether you should take a position in futures, whether you should take a position in option based on your capital, आपका risk reward कितना है, आपके रिस्क रिवॉर्ड के हिसाब से आपको नेकेड कॉल ऑप्शन बाय करना है या फिर आपको आपके पास अगर एक्स्ट्रा कैपिटल है देन यू कैन इवन कंसिडर सेलिंग ऑफ ऑप्शंस. आप पुट ऑप्शन बेच सकते हो. सी दीज आर द वेरियस थिंग्स दैट यू कैन डू वंस यू हैव फ्रेम्ड योर व्यू ऑन द मार्केट. So like I have highlighted multiple times, framing the view on the market is the most important thing for a trader. अगर आप 5 मिनट का भी चार्ट देख रहे हो या दिन का भी चार्ट देख रहे हो, आपको व्यू बनाना सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. टेक टाइम एट योर एंड, analyze the charts, analyze the derivative data, and then take a view on the market. So now coming to options. So options, like I mentioned, is a very versatile trading product. So there are mainly two types of options. अगर ये slide आप understand कर पाते हो, for a lot of people there will be who are in the webinar today, they might not be having a full complete grasp of derivatives, but if you are able to understand this particular slide and the content which follows, I'll be explaining in a very simple manner. See, there are two types of options. One is call option and one is put option, but understanding that within that also you can be bullish by buying, by selling put options, and you can be bearish by selling call options. That's the important part to learn in this particular slide. Almost 99 or 100% of the participants will know that if you have a call option, your view is bullish. But you should also know that if you have sold call option, that you can sell call options as well, and you can have a bearish view on the market or a sideways. If you expect the markets to consolidate या फिर आपको लग रहा है एक sideways consolidation आ सकता है market में with a slight negative correction, then you can also consider to sell call options. So for every buyer of an option, there is a simultaneous seller of an option. तो अगर आप कॉल ऑप्शंस बाय कर रहे हो, आपका एक कोई काउंटर पार्टी रहता है जो आपको कॉल ऑप्शंस बेच रहा रहता है. सो ही हैज द एग्जैक्ट ऑपोजिट व्यू ऑफ व्हाट यू आर टेकिंग ऑन द मार्केट. Likewise, if you sell, if you are a buyer of a put option, आपका व्यू पॉजिटिव है, that's why you are selling put options. And if you buy put options, आपका व्यू मंदी का है. So simple thing is, if you have a bullish view, you buy call option. If you have a bearish view, you buy put options. But the contra is also true. For every buyer of an option, there is a seller of an option. So if there is a seller of a call option, he has the exact opposite view. उसको लगता है कि मार्केट में कंसोलिडेशन आ सकता है या फिर एक करेक्शन आ सकता है. दैट इज व्हाई ही इज सेलिंग द कॉल ऑप्शन टू यू. लाइकवाइज द सेलर ऑफ अ पुट ऑप्शन जो रहता है, ही हैज अ बुलिश व्यू ऑन द मार्केट. उसको लगता है मार्केट में कंसोलिडेशन आ सकता है या फिर मार्केट ये लेवल से ऊपर रिबाउंड हो सकता है. दैट इज व्हाई ही इज सेलिंग पुट ऑप्शंस टू यू. So I hope everyone is clear with this particular slide. It's very important to understand the selling part of options. Once you have understood that it's not just about buying of options, there are also counterparties to your particular trade who are sellers of options. डोंट वरी, विल बी टेकिंग लॉट ऑफ प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल. सारे स्लाइड्स में मैंने एग्जांपल के साथ एक्सप्लेन किया है. सो होपफुली द कॉन्सेप्ट इज मच मोर क्लियर टू यू as we go through the entire presentation. So these are just examples that I have taken. Generally when there is a breakout on the charts, कोई भी stock में अगर volume के साथ breakout देखा जाता है, then generally the most common thing that traders do is buy a call option, because call option is one of the most simple tools to play the market. अगर आपका view bullish है, one of the most simple ways to play the bullish scenario is to buy a call option. ये पर्टिकुलर सिनारियो में आप देख सकते हो चार्ट में, there is a clear breakout on the chart which has happened from its sideways consolidation, and in such a scenario you can consider to take a long position by buying a call option. लाइकवाइज सिर्फ ब्रेकआउट पे आपको कॉल ऑप्शन बाय करने का ये नहीं है. इवन इफ देर इज यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग अ रिबाउंड, कोई पर्टिकुलर जोन या कोई पर्टिकुलर मेजर एवरेज से भी आपको लगता है कि मार्केट रिवर्स हो सकता है, देन ऑल्सो यू कैन कंसिडर टू बाय अ कॉल ऑप्शन. लाइक अगर मार्केट अपने 100 मूविंग एवरेज से रिबाउंड होने का चांस दिखा रहा है या प्रोबेबिलिटी दिखा रहा है, दोज आर ऑल्सो सिनारियोज वेर इन यू कैन कंसिडर टू बाय अ कॉल ऑप्शन व्हेन यू एक्सपेक्ट अ रिबाउंड टुवर्ड्स इट्स एवरेज लेवल्स. तो काफी बार क्या होता है, देयर इज अ शार्प करेक्शन इन द मार्केट फॉर 2 to 3 ट्रेडिंग सेशंस and then we may expect a pullback. So even if you are expecting a pullback, you can consider to buy call options. That is another way to play to play the particular trade. It's not always that you have to wait for a breakout, or only when there is a breakout on the charts that you can consider to buy call options. So these are these various scenarios where if you have a bullish view on the market, you can play the particular trade by purchasing call options. So I hope everyone is clear that the most important thing is, once you have framed your view based on the chart and the derivative data, if your view is on the bullish side, आपको लग रहा है इधर से ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल से तेजी हो सकता है मार्केट में, then you can consider to buy call options. So currently when I was making this particular slide, लगभग 11 बजे के आसपास मार्केट was closer towards level spot पे 22,188 was where the markets was. And at that time of time, if any trader is expecting that in the next particular one, we have one trading day left in this particular week from an expiry perspective, क्योंकि कल के session is a holiday on account of Ram Navami, so tomorrow's session is a holiday for us, and then we have Thursday, which is the expiry. So anyone who's expecting, last 2 days we have had a sharp correction. So anyone who's expecting a rebound in the market can consider to buy a call option. This is just examples. Please note that I'm just explaining to understand the concepts in the market. So hope the concept is clear. Don't take it as a trade or something. Just understand the concept which we are trying to explain. So if you have a view that market काफी correct हो चुका है and you expect a rebound in the market, you can consider to buy a call option. So the price of the call option when I was making this particular slide, that is 22,200 ka call option, the price was at 72 rupees. So 72 rupees is where the call option price was. So for you can consider to buy the call option, the price that you pay is not just 72 rupees. आपको lot size से multiply करना रहेगा, because lot size for any product which is traded in derivatives, you have to multiply it by the lot size, because in derivatives it is not one share or two shares that you can purchase. Everything gets traded in the form of a contract. मतलब एक lot size, fixed lot size रहता है. At present the lot size for Nifty is 50, but going ahead the exchange has decided that the lot size for Nifty will be revised and it will be made 25. That means if the index goes up and your option price goes up by 1 point, you will end up making 50 rupees, because that's how much every lot is worth. 50 is the lot size of Nifty, and currently बैंक निफ्टी का 15 है, फिन निफ्टी का 40 है, एंड मिड कैप जो सिलेक्ट एक और इंडेक्स जो है, the lot size is 75. So the amount to purchase this particular call option, आपको अगर लग रहा है कि तेजी लग रहा है, you will have to pay 72 into 50, that is 3,600 is what you will have to pay to purchase the call option. So like I mentioned, for every call option buyer, there is a seller as well. So this is just an example to understand the idea much more. तो अगर आपको लग रहा है कि इधर से तेजी हो सकता है, रिबाउंड आ सकता है ऊपर के डायरेक्शन में, सो यू कैन कंसिडर टू बाई दी 22,200 कॉल ऑप्शन, जिसका स्ट्राइक प्राइस है 22,200, प्रीमियम आपने भरा है 72। तो आपका ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट जो है, अगर आप एक्सपायरी तक ऑल द वे टिल एक्सपायरी होल्ड करते हो, तो आपका ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट जो है दैट इज 22,272। सी ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट कॉन्सेप्ट जो आता है दैट कम्स ओनली इफ यू आर होल्डिंग योर पोजीशन ऑल द वे टिल एक्सपायरी। अगर आप शॉर्ट टर्म ट्रेडिंग कर रहे हो, एक 50 पॉइंट का भी बाउंस आ गया, यू कैन गेट आउट ऑफ योर पोजीशन एट एनी पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। यू कैन जस्ट ट्रैक योर प्रीमियम प्राइस जो 72 का है, वो अगर 90, 110 ऐसा कुछ भी लेवल आ जाता है, यू कैन ऑलवेज एग्जिट। Buying a derivative contract does not mean you have to hold it till the expiry. It is just that to understand the example, it becomes much more easier. If you are holding a position till expiry, what is your break even point? ये सब concepts जो है, वो अगर आपके position आप hold कर रहे हो all the way till the expiry till 3:30 p.m. and if you do not close your position, what is your break even point and where you will be end up making money is what is explained by the break even point concept. So 22,272 is the break even point for buying a call option. इसके ऊपर कितना भी निफ्टी बंद होता है, that will be your profit at the time of expiry. तो अगर निफ्टी 22,400 पे बंद देता है, then the profit that you make is 22,400 minus 22,272. That is 128 points will be your profit. So 128 will be multiplied by 50, क्योंकि 50 lot size है निफ्टी का. So the total profit that you make if your view goes right and the index settles at levels of 22,400 at the time of expiry will be 6,400. So 6,400 is what your profit is going to be when you take the trade. 128 into 50 is 6,400. Likewise, जो आपने कॉल ऑप्शन बाय किया है, there will be someone who will be selling the call option as well. तो उसका व्यू क्या रहता है कि मार्केट इस लेवल से ऊपर नहीं जाएगा, इसी लेवल पे रह सकता है, या फिर एक करेक्शन कंटिन्यू हो सकता है नीचे के डायरेक्शन में. So that is why he is selling the call option. So therefore, when you buy the 22,200 call option, there will be someone who's selling the 22,200 call option to you. What is the maximum profit that he will make? The maximum profit that a seller of an option makes is the premium that he receives at the start. तो आपने जो 72 rupees भरा है, that goes to the seller of the option. तो 72 into 50, that is 6,400. ये उसका maximum profit है, which the trader will make. 128 into 72 into 50, that is, sorry, the amount is 3,600 if I'm not wrong. So 3,600 is the maximum profit that the seller of an option will make. तो अगर निफ्टी एक्सपायरी के टाइम पे 200 के नीचे. So moving forward, so we'll first understand the bullish view on the market. So अभी हमने कॉल ऑप्शन के बारे में डिस्कस किया. आपको लग रहा है तेजी है तो आप कॉल ऑप्शन बाय कर सकते हो. Likewise, अगर आपका व्यू bullish है, that is you have a positive view on the market, along with buying of call options, the other thing that you can do is you can also sell a put option. So if you sell the put option, आप अगर 22,200 का put option बेचते हो एंड मार्केट उस लेवल के ऊपर बंद देता है, देन यू मेक सिग्निफिकेंट प्रॉफिट. जो आपको प्रीमियम जो मिलता है, दैट इज द प्रॉफिट दैट यू विल मेक if the index remains above 22,200 levels. So understanding the view is very important. If you have a bullish view on the market, you can either buy the 22,200 call option or you can sell the 22,200 put option. It is not the call option that we are selling, it is the put option that we are selling if we have a bullish view on the market. So sell a put option if you expect the index to rise or trade sideways above the strike price with a positive momentum. So अगर आपका व्यू तेजी का है, you will require slightly more capital. देखिए ऑप्शन सेलिंग में there is risk, and because of the risk the premium which is charged by the broker is also slightly higher. तो जो आप कॉल ऑप्शन जो बाय कर रहे हैं, आपको सिर्फ प्रीमियम इनटू द लॉट साइज उतने पैसा चाहिए आपके अकाउंट में। मगर अगर आप ऑप्शन सेलिंग कर रहे हो, यू विल रिक्वायर स्लाइटली मोर कैपिटल, because the risk is also there when you're doing option selling. It's not that it's a risk free trade. So approximately a margin amount of almost 1 lakh is required to do the option selling in your account for every one lot, that is. So now moving to the next scenario. अभी तक तो जो हमने डिस्कस किया था that was on the bullish side. अगर आपका व्यू तेजी का है तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए. Now let's have a view on the exact opposite side. अगर आपका व्यू मंदी का है, then what are the different strategies that you can consider based on the view that you hold on the market. So suppose there is a clear breakdown on the charts और डेरिवेटिव डेटा भी दिखा रहा है कि ये पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शन में, फ्यूचर्स में स्पेशली, देयर इज शार्प सर्ज इन ओपन इंटरेस्ट. अगर प्राइस नीचे जा रहा है और ओपन इंटरेस्ट भी ऊपर आ रहा है, दैट इज अ क्लियर कट इंडिकेशन दैट देयर इज शॉर्ट पोजीशंस व्हिच आर बीइंग बिल्ट in a particular stock or in the index. So OI data for futures is much more easier to interpret. Option का क्या है, it is still slightly confusing because you will never know who are the option seller, what is the positions that they are being built. But in futures it is clear, much more clear. If the open interest is increasing and the price is going on the downside, it's a clear indication that short positions are being built in the particular stock. So in this example also you can see a clear breakdown on the charts. So you can consider to buy a put option if you have a view that the particular counter will continue its trend in the downward direction. So the markets currently, if you see, are closer towards 22,200 levels. तो आपका व्यू अगर मंदी का है, if you feel the markets can continue its downward correction in the next few trading days, the markets are overheated. आपको लग रहा है कि जो मिडल ईस्ट में टेंशन है between Iran and Israel, it can further explode and the prices of crude oil can continue surging higher. All these negative sentiments are there in the market, and if you feel that the markets can continue trending on the downside, then you can consider to buy a put option. So if you buy a put option with the strike price that is 22,200, the premium that you pay, जो प्रीमियम उस टाइम पे था जब मैंने ये स्लाइड बनाया था, that was 90 rupees for the 22,200 put option. So 90 into the lot size, वापस आपको lot size से multiply करना पड़ेगा. So 90 into 50 is the premium that is going to pay. That is 4,500 is what you are going to end up paying. तो आपको अगर पोजीशन लेना है पुट साइड पे, तो आपको 4,500 रुपीज भरना पड़ेगा ये पर्टिकुलर पोजीशन लेने के लिए. So now let us understand the difference between a put option buyer and a put option seller. So like I mentioned, अगर आपका व्यू मंदी का है, आपको लग रहा है ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल से करेक्शन हो सकता है, then you buy the put option. लेकिन अगर there for every seller of an option there has to, I mean for every buyer of an option there should be a seller as well. तो who is the seller of a put option? तो जिसका व्यू कंप्लीटली ऑपोजिट रहता है, उसको लग रहा है कि इंडेक्स बॉटम आउट हो चुका है एंड ये पर्टिकुलर लेवल से एक रिबाउंड आ सकता है, एटलीस्ट इन द नियर शॉर्ट टर्म, दैट दोज हु होल्ड दिस पर्टिकुलर व्यू आर जनरली द सेलर्स ऑफ अ पुट ऑप्शन. तो उनको लग रहा है कि भले ऊपर भी भले ना चला जाए, बट इंडेक्स कुड विटनेस अ स्लाइट पॉजिटिव कंसोलिडेशन in the next few trading sessions. So these are the traders who consider to take a position on the short side by selling put options. Likewise, अगर आपने 4,500 प्रीमियम भरा है टू बाई अ पुट ऑप्शन, दैट एंटायर प्रीमियम अमाउंट गोज टू द सेलर ऑफ द पुट ऑप्शन. तो 4,500 इज द मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट दैट अ सेलर ऑफ अ पुट ऑप्शन कैन मेक. इससे ज्यादा वो प्रॉफिट नहीं बना सकता, भले ही उसका व्यू सही भी चला जाए. द मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट दैट ही कैन मेक इज 4,500. दैट इज एट द टाइम ऑफ सेलिंग उसको जो प्रीमियम मिलता है वही उसका मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट है. So that is the slight disadvantage. We'll be discussing why there are sellers and why there are buyers. मतलब एक seller क्यों अपना profit limit करके भी बेचने को condition में क्यों हो जाता है. We'll be discussing it in terms of probability of success. In that particular slide, you will understand why there are so many traders who are attracted towards selling of options at the current juncture. So I hope this particular slide is clear to everyone. For every option trade, there is a buyer and there is a seller. The buyer has one view that the markets could witness a correction on the downside. The seller of the put option has an exact opposite view. उसका लगता है कि market could witness a sideways consolidation or witness a call consolidation with a positive bias. So that is why he will go ahead and sell the put options. Likewise, अगर आपका व्यू मंदी का है, you can also consider to sell call options. This is the counter second part of the trade that I had explained. You don't have to be just buyers of put option. अगर आपका व्यू मंदी का है, you can also consider to sell the call option. The premium that you receive right at the start of the trade, that is your maximum profit if your view goes right. तो इसमें क्या व्यू है आपका? अगर आपने 22,200 का कॉल ऑप्शन बेचा है, what is the view that you hold on the market? The view that you hold is that the index could trade closer towards 22,000 at the time of expiry, or witnesses a correction continues to trend downwards and settles below the level of 22,200 by the time the expiry comes. तो expiry जो है 18 तारीख को है, because that is the weekly expiry. तो अगर weekly expiry तक index 22,200 के नीचे रहता है या फिर 22,200 पे रहता है, then you pocket the entire premium. तो आपका व्यू सही चला जाता है. That is, you had a view that the index could witness a correction on the downside, and that is why you considered to sell the call option. See, call option, if you expect the index to fall or trade with the sideways bias, that is why you end up selling call options. So now let us move to the slide wherein we talk about probability of success. See, it is very important to understand why there are sellers of call option and why there are sellers of put option. See, there are three scenarios in the market. There is a bullish scenario. If the markets are trading at 22,200, there are three scenarios at any point of time which can happen in the market. Markets can go above the level of 22,200 by the time expiry comes. Markets could witness a correction below 22,200 by the time expiry comes, or the market can witness an absolute sideways consolidation and can settle at levels of 22,200 itself by the time expiry comes. So there are only three scenarios which can happen at any given point of time in any stock or in the index. Other than these three probabilities, there is nothing else that can happen. Markets can either go up, markets can either go down, or markets can witness a sideways consolidation after going up and down. That also is possible, but it is considered as a sideways consolidation in that particular scenario. So we associate a probability of 33% with each of these scenarios. 33% chance है कि market में go up, 33% chance है कि market can witness a correction, and there is 33% chance that the markets can witness a sideways consolidation. So we have associated 33% probability with each of these events playing out. Now let us take the scenario if you are a buyer of an option. If you are a buyer of a call option, you have 33% chance of making money in the market. See, if you buy the 22,200 call option at 72 rupees, you make money only when the index moves about 22,000 and settles above that. It has to move above the premium price also that you have paid. So you have probability of success is just 33% when you are a buyer of an option. If you are a seller of an option, there is 66% chance that you can end up making money. The reason for this is if the markets witness a sideways consolidation or they witness a correction on the downside, the seller of the call option will end up making money. I hope this is everyone is able to understand what I'm trying to explain. If you are a buyer of an option, the probability of success is 33%. If you are a seller of an option, the probability of success is 66%. The reason being, in two scenarios you will end up making money if you are a seller of an option. Either if the markets witness a sideways consolidation, or if the markets witnesses a correction on the downside. In these two scenarios, you will end up making money. So now everyone will be thinking, then if the probability of success is 66%, then everyone should try to consider being an option seller. But that's where the risk comes into play. The option seller has a limited profit that you can make. See, an option buyer can make significant amount of money. It does not happen anytime, many times in trade, but the probability is there. You buy the 22,200 call option and there is a 400-500 point gap up, you will end up making significant amount of capital. And at the same time, the option seller who has sold a position, his maximum profit is locked right at the start, but he has to face significant losses if there is a gap up opening on Thursday. So there is heavy risk when you are doing option selling, especially if you are doing it overnight and not in a hedged manner. तो काफी बड़ा रिस्क है ऑप्शन सेलर्स के लिए. And if you compare the risk reward and along with the probability of success, then it balances out in the long run. So there is no ideal situation that you have to be an option buyer only or you have to be an option seller only. It is based on the market condition and the type of volatility that is there in the market that you should consider to be either an option buyer or you should consider to be an option seller. Then it also boils down to the individual risk appetite. कोई जन के पास capital नहीं रहता. There are some traders who do not want to be an option seller. They have comfort in being option buyers. They feel that they are very good at judging the trend in the market and making money instead of taking the risk of selling options. So that is completely up to you. But you should understand why there is an option seller. What is his mentality? He is going for a higher probability of success. The option buyer is going with a lower probability of success, but he is aiming for making higher returns on his capital. So this is just a template of all the 4 scenarios. We buy call options. Let us just brush up on what we have learned so far, because this is the absolute basic. Once you get an understanding of this, all the strategies that are there in derivatives are just an extrapolation of all these concepts itself. मतलब आपको ये particular understanding आ गया between an option buyer and an option seller. Who is an option buyer, call option buyer, who is a call option seller, who's a put option buyer and who's a put option seller, then you can definitely move forward to the next leg of option strategies. There are a lot of strategies in derivative, but all that comes once you have got a grip of understanding option buyer and option seller in the 2 most common types of form, that is call option buyer, call option seller, put option buyer and a put option seller. So this is just a brush up. You buy call options. That is, if you have a bullish view on the market, you expect the markets to move up. The probability of success is 33%. You make money when the market moves on the upside. Loss is limited to the capital or the premium that you have paid. So if you are a call option buyer, your probability of success is 33%. Loss is limited to the extent of the premium that you have paid. If you are see, that is a bullish view. So what is there on the upside of this particular slide is both bullish views. That is, likewise, if you sell put option also, you have a bullish view on the market. Your probability of success is 66% based on what we had discussed in the previous slide. The profit that you can make is limited to the premium that you receive right at the start. तो आपको जो premium start में मिल जाता है, that is the maximum profit that you can make by selling put options. Likewise, now let's move to the bearish scenario. आप अगर आपका view मंदी का है, you can buy a put option. Your probability of success when you buy a put option is 33%, but you can make significant capital, return on capital, if you get your view right. If the market witnesses a sudden correction or a sharp correction in Thursday's trading session and you have purchased the 22,200 put option, you will end up making good amount of capital. That is, return on investment will be very high when you get your view right and the market moves in your direction. Likewise, the last scenario is you can, if you have a bearish view on the market, you can sell the call option as well. It is mentioned as put option, but it is selling of call option. I made a mistake when I entered it. It is selling of call option. If you sell a call option, your probability of success is 66%. You end up making money if the index closes below 22,200 at the time of expiry. So now let us move to the next part of this particular webinar, that is multi-leg hedging strategies, and why every trader who does option selling should always consider this rather than doing naked option selling. Because with hedge strategies, the exchange or the broker also gives you the benefit of margin amount, as well as you are limiting your risk in the market. मतलब आप जब भी option selling, naked option selling कर रहे हो, you are exposed to a lot of risk because no one knows कल कैसे market खुल सकता है. There can be a 200 if the war is over. overnight there could be even a 400 point gap up which could happen. And if there is an escalation of the war, the markets could open 400 points on the downside. There is absolutely no one who could predict where the markets will open on Thursday. So whenever you're doing option selling, it is always advisable to do it in a hedged manner. मतलब आपको पहले से ही मालूम है कि आपका अगर व्यू गलत भी जाता है, this is the maximum amount what I'm going to lose in this particular trade. So once you are comfortable with doing selling of options, always consider to do it in a hedged manner. Hedging के में बिना do not carry forward overnight positions in selling options. आप इंट्राडे कर रहे हो तो फिर भी ठीक है if you're doing selling of options intraday. The reason being you might be in front of the screen the entire trading day. So whenever there is a sharp movement against you, you can always close out your position. But if you are doing option selling and you have carried forwarded your position to the next trading day without hedge, there is a chance that the entire capital that you have put into that particular trade will be wiped out if the market witnesses an extremely sharp movement against you. So we always advise from a risk perspective to consider doing hedge trades in the derivative segment. So this is a scenario, same scenario, view is the same. There is a breakout on the chart. The volumes are good on the upside. You feel that the particular stock or the index can continue the uptrend. So a different view that you can take is, instead of just buying a call option, what you can do is you can sell the at the money put option and you buy you sell the at the money put option and you buy a slightly out of the put money put option to reduce your risk and get the margin benefit. So if I explain it in simple manners, if there is a breakout on the charts at the current scenario upside pay, what you can do is you can sell the 22,200 put option and you simultaneously purchase the 22,000 put option just to hedge your position on the downside. मगर आपका व्यू गलत भी चला जाता है, the 22,000 put option will reduce your risk in this particular trade. So that is a basic strategy that you can consider if you are a seller of an option. So like I mentioned, आप 22,200 का put option बेच सकते हो, and to hedge your position and to get the margin benefit, you can buy the lower strike price option, that is the 22,000 put option. So I hope everyone understood what is meant by hedging. You take a particular position and to reduce the loss on that particular trade, you pre-hand decide what is going to be the strike price you are going to purchase as well to reduce the loss in the particular trade. So that is known as a hedge strategy, wherein the loss or the maximum loss that you are going to incur is predefined and decided right at the start itself. So moving forward, so now let's look at the exact opposite. अगर आपको मंदी का व्यू है, आपको लग रहा है कि मार्केट में एक करेक्शन आ सकता है, so instead of just selling a call option, what you can do is you can do a bear call spread. जो हम लोग bearish का व्यू है, व्यू तो नीचे का ही है, but instead of just selling a call option, you do a bear spread wherein you sell the at the money strike price. तो आपको लग रहा है, so suppose the markets are at 22,000, what you do is you sell the 22,200 call option, and just in case your view goes right, कितना भी आप एनालिसिस करने के बाद there is a chance that the view can still go wrong. So just to protect your capital and to hedge your strategy, along with selling the 22,200 call option, you also purchase the 22,400 or 22,350 call option. So just in case if there is a gap up opening and your view goes wrong, the 22,350 call option will act as a hedge and will limit your losses to a great extent. और आपको margin benefit भी मिलता है. See, if you are just directly selling options, you will have to pay a lot of capital to the broker because there is risk associated with option selling. So it's better to do it in a hedged manner. मतलब you can consider these particular strategies if you are doing option selling. So this is just from a risk perspective. It is whenever we teach anyone derivatives or anyone who's trading in the derivative segment, it is important to understand the risk associated with each particular trade. So if you see, the highest amount of risk that is there is associated with naked short selling of options. If that is selling of call option or selling of put option, has the highest amount of risk. That is, if you're doing it overnight and you're not doing it in a hedged manner. So that is the maximum risk, and the minimum risk is associated with buying of call and put options. That is the minimum risk. And if you see, there are various levels of risk associated with various strategies that you can consider. But these are the two basic things to understand, that if you are an option seller, there is a quite a good amount of risk associated with it if you are not doing it in a hedged manner. So I hope everyone has a good understanding of what we have explained till now. Everyone is clear in their mind between the difference between an option buyer and an option seller. What is the probability of success of an option buyer? What is the probability of success of an option seller? ये सब चीज और कॉन्सेप्ट जब भी आपके दिमाग में बैठ जाएगा, then you will understand why there are different traders who take different views on the market whenever the index is trading at a particular level. Everyone will not have the same view. Everyone has a different view based on the individual's capacity to absorb risk and his particular view, that how much capital he has and how much money he wants to make in that particular trade. So that is why for every particular trade, there will be different traders who have different view on the market. So there is another important thing to understand when you're trading in derivatives. It is important to always maintain a stop loss. कितना भी आप confident हो आपके trade पे, when you're trading in derivatives, it is very important to maintain a strict stop loss. See, many times even we face this in derivatives, that the particular level will just be touched. मैंने अगर in 81 एक particular trade को मैंने option को 100 पे buy किया है, मेरा stop loss 81 का है. Many times the option will just move towards 78 77 levels and then once again rebound towards 110 120 on the upside. We'll feel extremely disappointed that अरे यार view तो सही निकला लेकिन stop loss बच के गए. But the day you do not maintain your stop loss, the price will move directly from 100 to 30 40 on the downside, and you will not even get time to think what to do. Let the stop loss be hit. That just does not mean that you are gone wrong once. See, trading is not a game of getting your view once or twice right. It's a game wherein you have to be consistent in multiple trades. अगर आप 100 ट्रेड को देखोगे, and if you are consistent in maintaining risk reward and discipline in trading, you will definitely come out as a winner. अगर आप एक दो ट्रेड के बारे में सोच के पूरा आपका सिस्टम खराब करोगे, then you will definitely not end up making money. You have to think on the longer terms. You have to protect your capital. Protecting capital is more important than making money, because if you are consistently protecting your capital, you will definitely get an opportunity. किधर ना किधर आपको मौका मिलेगा पैसा बनाने का. But if you do not maintain good risk reward and you just let your capital get wiped out, it is very difficult to regain your capital. आपको original amount तक आने तक ही बहुत time चला जाएगा. See, if you had 100 rupees, you did not maintain a stop loss, the capital went to 30 40 rupees on the downside. Now from 40 rupees to get it back just to 100, it is more than 100% that you have to deliver on your trade. And we all know how difficult that is. When the tension is there, the pressure is there, regaining the capital itself is very challenging and difficult. So in such scenarios, we always advise traders to maintain a strict stop loss while trading. Let the stop loss be hit. It is not that every time your trade will go wrong. There will be definitely very lot of scenarios when you will get your view right as well. So always maintain a strict stop loss when trading. The other point is regarding leverage. जब भी मार्केट कुछ ज़्यादा ही volatile हो जाता है, always consider to reduce down on the leverage part of it. Do not over leverage your positions just because you feel confident on a particular trade, but take into consideration the volatility of the market, the type of movement that is coming. See, going into the election season, the type of candles that we are seeing, Nifty is witnessing sudden spikes of almost 80 100 points also in just 1-2 minute candles. Bank Nifty or Fin Nifty ka chhod hi do, that is a different thing altogether. Even Nifty is facing 180 point candles in just 1-2 minutes. You do not get time to react also. So in such scenarios, if the markets are getting so volatile, consider reducing the leverage. अगर आप 10-15 lots के साथ trade कर रहे हो, you can consider to trade with 5 lots. Get your view right, get the confidence that you can face these type of markets as well. And if you are able to tide over such markets, then definitely you can continue trading with the type of capital that you have. एंड द लास्ट थिंग इज, अगर आप ऑप्शन सेलिंग में है, ऑलवेज कंसिडर टू डू इट इन अ हेज्ड मैनर, जो हमने आज स्ट्रेटजीज डिस्कस भी किए हैं. यू कैन डू स्प्रेड स्ट्रेटजीज, कॉम्बो, या फिर आयन कॉन्डोर, आयन बटरफ्लाई, काफी सारी स्ट्रेटजीज है. विल नॉट बी डिस्कसिंग ऑन द स्ट्रेटजीज, लॉट ऑफ स्ट्रेटजीज, बिकॉज we have covered them in our previous sessions, and we'll be having multiple sessions wherein we'll be talking about strategies itself. But I just want to tell you that अगर आप overnight positions carry forward कर रहे हैं, especially when you are selling options, please do it in a hedged manner. So that's an end from our side. Thank you to all the participants for having taken the time out and having attended the session. So thank you so much for all the positive comments. So if you have any questions, please do not ask any stock specific questions. I would not be able to answer it at the current juncture. बट आपको अगर ये पर्टिकुलर सेशन के रिगार्डिंग या फिर डेरिवेटिव्स में कुछ भी क्वेश्चंस है, we'll be more than happy to take the questions. You can type in your questions. I'll try to take them one by one. Thank you. So there is a first question from Murthy. My understanding is that when PCR is below 1, the trend is bullish, and if it is otherwise bearish. Is this correct? Sir, the exact opposite holds true. See, PCR means put call ratio, and it is taken as a contrarian indicator. So put call ratio means total put options divided by total call options. So you have to understand that this PCR ratio which is there is interpreted from a seller's perspective, because that is where there is more risk. So the total put options in the system, that is for a weekly expiry, you can take any expiry PCR figure you will get anywhere. You can consider the weekly expiry, you will get a weekly view. अगर आपका मंथली पीसीआर देख रहे हो तो the monthly PCR, what is the value? But PCR basically stands for put options divided by call options, and within put options also it is the sellers of put options. For every buyer of put option there is a seller as well, but we are interpreting it from the seller's perspective. So what this ratio is basically telling is seller of put option divided by seller of call option. When this figure goes above 1, it is bullish, because there are more sellers of put option in the system compared to sellers of call option, because who sell put option have a bullish view, who sell call options have a bearish view. So if this figure is 1.3, 1.4, then the view on the market is bullish. अगर ये पर्टिकुलर फिगर 0.7, 0.6 है, the view on the market is bearish. So I hope you understand. It is the exact opposite. If the PCR is below 1 at the current juncture पे आप अगर देखोगे निफ्टी का PCR at the start of the day, I remember the PCR figure, it was 0.64 or somewhere around those levels. The reason for this is the view on the market was bearish. मतलब मंदी का व्यू था काफी सारी ट्रेडर्स का, उनको लग रहा था कि आज के डे में भी द कंटिन्यूएशन ऑफ द करेक्शन कैन कम. The reason for this bearish view is the trend in Nifty was negative. सारे एशियन मार्केट्स नेगेटिव में ट्रेड हो रहे थे, and that too the cuts were quite deep. There was very little probability that our Indian markets would outperform and still continue trending upside when all the Asian markets were down between 1 to 2% on the downside. तो अगर आप निकाय को देखोगे, हैंगसेंग को देखोगे, कॉस्पी को देखोगे, all these indices were down between 1 to 2% in trade already. So the view on the market was bearish. That is why the PCR figure was closer towards 0.64. That means there were more call option sellers in the system compared to put option sellers. So that's why when the PCR figure was closer towards 0.64, it is a bearish view on the market. The same when the figure is closer towards 1.2, 1.3, it means there are more put option sellers compared to call option sellers. Thank you. So So there is a question for RSI. So RSI is an indicator which is generally used in the market. ये एक momentum indicator है which gives the idea of the trend or the momentum in the market. तो generally जो RSI use करते हैं daily charts पे, the RSI which is used is a 14 period RSI. इसके साथ ही आप एक 9 system built रहता है ये सब चीज. तो the most common RSI which is used is a 14 period RSI. यू मेक यूज ऑफ दैट. इसके साथ आरएसआई के साथ ही साथ एक सिग्नल इंडिकेटर भी रहता है. सो ऑन द चार्ट्स इटसेल्फ देयर विल बी एन सिग्नल इंडिकेटर जो एक उसी आरएसआई का एक 9 पीरियड एवरेज रहता है. यू मस्ट हैव कॉमनली सीन इट. तो कभी भी ये आरएसआई जब भी वो इंडिकेटर के ऊपर ब्रेकआउट देता है, दैट इज ऑल्सो कंसिडर्ड एज एन इंडिकेटर. इट्स नॉट जस्ट दैट आरएसआई इज बुलिश और बेरिश. तो आरएसआई का कैसा रहता है, रेंज रहता है बिटवीन 0 to 100. आरएसआई का मूविंग रेंज रहता है. जनरली व्हेन इट इज अबाउ 60 it is considered as bullish. When it is below 40 it is considered as bearish. And it does not mean that जब भी वो 60 के ऊपर जाता है तो वापस नीचे आने का जरूरत है. There is lot of time the RSI may sustain at elevated levels and the trend may continue on the upside. So don't just, there are a lot of traders who say that RSI 60 पहुंच गया, 70 पहुंच गया तो अभी मार्केट ओवरहीटेड है और इधर से करेक्शन आ सकता है. Don't go into that. There can be months together wherein the RSI can be above 60-70 levels and the markets can continue trending on the upside. So like the last 6 months, if you see for the auto sector, pharma sector, the reality sector, उसका अगर आप RSI देखोगे, for months together the RSI was above the levels of 60 on the upside. And like I mentioned, RSI के साथ साथ वो सिग्नल का जो भी इंडिकेटर रहता है, that is the 9 period average, that also is made use of as a buying and selling signal. So there is a positive comment. Thank you for the information in price, including charges in derivative. Thank you for this. Thank you, sir, for your positive comments on today's session. I hope I was able to communicate the content in a very simple and clear manner. We'll be having multiple sessions in derivatives, so I'll try my very best to cover a lot of topics. This year, we have quite a lot of interesting topics that we line up in the months to come. Every month, we'll be having 3 to 4 sessions in technical and derivatives. I'll try to take as many examples as possible and try to cover the concepts in a simple manner. I hope to see all of you all in during the sessions. And even if you have any suggestions from your end, आपको कोई particular topic के regarding आपको knowledge चाहिए, and if I can make an entire session on that particular topic, I'll be more than happy to do so. Thank you. So there is a question, please mention some tools, softwares to analyze option stocks. So you can make use of the SBI Securities app itself. Along with this, you can make use of the NSE website for the option chain. The most common and free software which is readily available is Trading View. ट्रेडिंग व्यू करके एक सॉफ्टवेयर है जिसपे आप चार्ट्स देख सकते हो. इट इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट फ्री ट्रेडिंग सॉफ्टवेयर्स. इफ यू कैन कंसिडर दैट, इट्स अ वेरी गुड प्लेस टू स्टार्ट ऑफ. So there is a question, can we buy, call and put options for the same 22,200 level so that we win in either direction? See, this particular thing is called a strategy as well. काफी जन इसको employ भी करते हैं. It is known as a volatility strategy, जो strangle या straddle जो बोलते हैं. It is that itself. But you need to understand how to play it out. See, now let us just understand. I'll explain it in a simple manner. When you will make money in this particular scenario, one day is left for expiry. So suppose that there is just Thursday left for expiry. The market is at 22,200. Now the call option price will be somewhere around 60-70 rupees will be the price of the call option of 22,200. And 22,200 का put option का price is somewhere around 90 rupees. So that is just, I'm trying to explain it in so that you understand it. The prices may be slightly different at present, but these are the prices that I remember, because when I was making this slide, it was at 72 rupees and 90 rupees respectively. The combined premium that you will pay for purchasing both is 162 rupees. When you will make money in this particular strategy, your view is market ऊपर भी जा सकता है, नीचे भी जा सकता है, but it is not so easy to make money this way also, because you have paid 162 rupees to purchase both the call and put option. Now to make money, the index has to move by 162 points in either direction. It has to move 162 points above 22,200 on the upside, or it has to move 162 points below 22,200. It is only once it moves 162 points above that you will end up making profit in this particular strategy. So if there is a 200-point movement on the upside or the downside, you will end up making 38 rupees profit. So agar Thursday ke session mein there is a 200-point movement, you will end up making 38 points. So 38 points into 50, that is what your maximum profit will be. So you should be sure that there will be extremely sharp movements in the market. It is only when these type scenarios that you should consider to buy the same strike price call and put option. So I hope I was able to explain in a simple manner, and you got the concept that when you buy it, it should be, the movement in the market should be such that it overcomes the total premium that you paid. Many times when there are big events in the market, the premium itself will be very high. So the break even points, ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रेटजी में जो ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट आता है, आपको जिधर से पैसा बनेगा वही काफी दूर रहता है, एंड दैट इज द चैलेंज. प्रीमियम एक बार इवेंट होते ही एक बार एकदम से श्रिंक होने का भी चांस रहता है. Those are things for a slightly more advanced session that I want to say, that once a major event gets over and it gets discounted by the market, even though it is a big event, the premiums may suddenly shrink. So that is also a very big challenge when you're doing straddle and strangle strategies. Thank you for your question. So at present, we have which candle is the best. There is no such thing as any particular candle is the best. अगर आप basics of candle analysis पढ़ लेते हैं, there are certain candles which are bullish in nature, but this is a detailed study. काफी सारे, almost more than 100 candle patterns will be there in the market. So it's tough to tell which candle is good. There are, it depends on the analyst what he likes. There are a lot of patterns which a particular analyst may like, but definitely larger the size of the candle and larger the volumes associated with the candle, the more confirmation that you can make out of it. तो अगर एक large bullish मारूबूजो जैसे कैंडल बनता है एंड उसके साथ ही वॉल्यूम भी अच्छा खासा है, इट्स डेफिनेटली अ कंफर्मेशन दैट द ट्रेंड में कंटिन्यू ऑन द अपसाइड. क्योंकि एक पर्टिकुलर कैंडल में अगर क्लोज इज एट द हाईएस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ द डे, दैट इज डेफिनेट इंडिकेशन दैट बायर्स आर कॉन्फिडेंट दैट अगले ट्रेडिंग डे में भी उधर से मोमेंटम कंटिन्यू हो सकता है. Likewise, if the close for any particular candle is at the low point of the day, that is a negative signal, because there is absolutely no charge which is being taken by the buyers to change the trend of the market. Last end तक भी market में selling pressure देखी गई है. That's the reason the candle has closed at the low point of the day. So I hope I was able to explain. It's a slightly long topic, entire candlesticks, but I just want to tell you that if the candle closes at the high point of the day, it's a bullish signal. If it closes closer towards the low point, it's a bearish signal. Open interest and open interest change data is useful to predict resistance and support for Nifty and Bank Nifty strike graphs. So this is definitely a useful thing, but please do note that ये सारी चीज जो है बहुत dynamic रहता है. It's not that once there is open interest at a particular level, it will remain right through the day. आप देखोगे काफी बार it may just penetrate and pass through. So it depends on the analyst how he interprets it. कौन से स्ट्राइक प्राइस को एक्चुअल वो रेजिस्टेंस मानता है, कौन से स्ट्राइक प्राइस उसको एक्चुअल में वो सपोर्ट मानता है, बेस्ड ऑन द चार्ट पैटर्न एज वेल एज द डेरिवेटिव डेटा. So there is a question how to play stop losses. So if we talk about options per se, how to play stop losses, see in options whenever we trade in Nifty, I'll just give Nifty example. If the particular option price is at 100, a good enough stop loss could be of 25 to 25 to 20 to 25 points of the premium price. तो ऑप्शन का प्रीमियम जो है 100 पे है. You can consider to place a stop loss somewhere around 75 to 80 levels. The reason for this is, uh, if you are placing a stop loss of 20-25 points for the premium, it means that Nifty has moved almost 40 to 45 points against you. If you are an intraday trader, आप 5 मिनट के ग्राफ पे निफ्टी ट्रेड कर रहे हो, अगर निफ्टी 40-45 पॉइंट्स आपके खिलाफ जाता है, that time your stop loss will be triggered. And if the index has moved about 40-45 points against you, more or less you know that your view has gone wrong. It is better to close out your trade at that particular point of time. This is from scalping point of view मैं जो बता रहा हूँ. That is what most of the intraday traders do in Nifty and Bank Nifty at the current juncture. अगर आप स्कैल्पर है and if you know that Nifty has moved about 40-45 points against you, then your premium of 25 points will be hit when you're doing intraday trading. Likewise, for Bank Nifty, you can consider anywhere between 40 to 60 points as your premium stop loss. So premium stop loss is different from the actual points, because if Bank Nifty moves about by 100-110 points, then your stop loss of about 50-55 points will be hit. This is one way of considering to maintain a stop loss. The other thing is, you can look at the charts. आपको लग रहा है कि इंडेक्स 22,200 पे है, एंड आप अगर ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ करोगे, रेजिस्टेंस लेवल्स देखोगे, मल्टीपल टाइम्स एक पर्टिकुलर लेवल से इंडेक्स रिवर्स हुआ है. सो 22,320, 22,340 आपको चार्ट्स पे लग रहा है कि रेजिस्टेंस लेवल है. So you have to calculate, if the index moves by this many points on the upside, where will be your stop loss. So वो actual points में आपको calculate करना पड़ेगा. अगर index 80 points का दूर से resistance है, तो आपके ऑप्शन प्रीमियम में आपको कितना मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा. बट दैट्स जनरली फ्रॉम अ पोजिशनल पर्सपेक्टिव. इंट्राडे में यू कैन डू व्हाट आई मेंशन्ड प्रीवियसली. How can we find out sellers or buyers are more? See, that is not possible many times. It is just based on price action. आपको पता चल जाएगा कौन से कैंडल्स में फास्ट मूवमेंट्स आ रहे हैं. So you will understand whether there is selling pressure more or buying pressure more in the market. Because for every option buyer, there will also be an option seller. It can never happen that there are more option buyers and there are few option sellers. The trade will not get executed itself. But by the intensity of the candle, 5 minutes candle पे आपको जो pressure दिखेगा वो candle में, you will definitely come to know that there are more sellers lined up in the queue compared to buyers. So there is a request that please take a complete session in Hindi. Definitely, अगर आपका request है and आपका कोई particular topic है, we'll have different analysts as well who will take sessions completely in Hindi, if that is the request. We can have sessions completely in English as well. If there are a target audience who wants a complete session in English, I can take a complete session in English as well. And if the request, there is a lot of participants who want a complete session in Hindi, we can definitely have a complete session in Hindi as well. Thank you. I will definitely take the suggestion forward. So I'll just make note of the questions. There are lot of questions still coming in, but please note that I will not be able to take all the questions due to time constraint. I would like to thank all the participants for their queries. We'll be having multiple sessions. It's not that today is the first and last day of having sessions. We'll be having within a month, we'll be having 3 to 4 trading sessions in derivatives and technicals. And I look forward to participation from all of you. There are a lot of questions which are still coming in, and due to time constraint, I will not be able to take the questions, all the questions. So I'll just make note of the queries as well. And you can write into us as well, and you can join our Telegram channel. SBI Securities का Telegram channel भी है, which you can join. And all the reports, हमारे सारे के सारे जो reports भी रहते हैं, I'll just share the Telegram link. So anyone who has an interest can join our Telegram channel. 1 second. So I've just posted the link of the Telegram channel. Anyone who has interest in joining our Telegram channel, please do join. We share all our research reports, a lot of reports in technical derivatives. We have very good reports which are made by various analysts in technicals and derivatives. And we post all our views on the market as well in those particular group. तो आपको अगर ज्वाइन करना है, यू कैन वेरी वेल डू इट. इट्स फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. देयर इज नो चार्ज एसोसिएटेड विद एनी of it. So much once again for